And that was before we read the middle five in our Omaha language class. This was like 2 years ago, but for a class this semester we had to read a book called The Middle Five, which I highly recommend, about Francis LaFlèche's years in the boarding school in the 1860s. And this is another dream that came after being on campus here at UNL for a writers' conference and reading a story about the Wyuka cemetery. And the story in the newspaper, the Lincoln Journal-Star, dated June 15, 2009, the first paragraph is this: "In the end, who is really friendless? The poorest of the poor rest in peace at Wyuka Cemetery in the shade of tall trees. About 500 orphans and wards of state were buried here long ago. Some bodies so small they lie to a plot. Their burial site looks like a bare patch of grass. Few have stones." And this voice is the physician who was in charge at the boarding school. "But I know the names and the dates, every one. Remember how they died and how they could have lived. It is not a role I care to elaborate upon, but the weight of it has worn me out, and I fear what I will face when I cross over. And I am buried in that same ground. Who will remember me? And why should they? I should be dead by now. I should have been put out of my misery long ago. But clearly, it is God's cruel way to keep me in pain with a clear mind, not a clear conscience, mind you, but a clear mind that holds things vivid like they just happened yesterday, though it was more than 70 years ago. I was there. I was the one who did or did not dispense the cures, who decided how the precious few resources would be spent, who determined ultimately who would live and who would die. I was the doctor, yes. And what could I do with my hands tied behind my back but justify my position? Carefully measure by the meager teaspoonful. Thank you.